Hello. Today is, I believe, Tuesday, um, July 22nd. And I actually wanted to do a live video, Facebook Live or Instagram Live or what have you. But there's just too much that happens in a day. Like right now, I just started recording, and our daily visit from some musicians, which also brings about dog barking, is happening. So maybe you guys will hear a little bit of that. But also, I'm pretty pregnant, so I don't know how at this point in the pregnancy, I don't know how my days go. I feel fine. I woke up and had a great night's sleep, which I hadn't had a sound sleep like that. I don't remember the last time. But at different points of the day, things completely change, and I just have a total drop in energy, and next thing you know, I'm totally out of breath, and just talking a lot can affect me. Also, right now, my husband right now is doing a COVID test. So I kind of need to be, checking my computer to see if he has, and if he needs anything from me while he's out there. And just little things pop up in the day. So sometimes by nighttime, it's just, I'm done. But I wanted to get on here, and I did want to post a video about being pregnant during this whole pandemic. I feel like at this point there's so much that I could say, but I'm going to try to stick with just talking about a little bit of my experience as a pregnant woman, some of what I've learned. And I'm doing this, I feel compelled, I kind of wanted to do this after the baby's here, because I feel like more things are going to come together, and maybe I'll do that. But I think right now I just feel that it's important to acknowledge that this pandemic is makes things very complicated, and can make things very complicated for pregnant women, and that is a reality. I feel that I live between two worlds. I live between the US, and I live between the US and Mexico. And so my experiences as a pregnant woman here in Mexico City, but in touch with and reading, and also in many groups with women in the US, and it's interesting. And of course, when I say a pregnant woman here in Mexico City, I mean that from a place of privilege, because I'm going to a private hospital. I have good insurance, and that is not the reality for most women in Mexico in general. And I think about that often, and it makes me really, my heart is broken, really broken for women all over the world who are pregnant right now and don't have the support that I have. And even with the support that I have, there are many uncertainties, and things that are kind of annoying. And so, it's something that I think of a lot, and I'm hopeful, really hopeful, and it's the reason why I'm creating this video, that this could help someone out there. And if you have a pregnant friend, please share this with them. I did do a podcast about this. I have no idea how long it'll take for that to come out, but I think right now I don't want to wait to put this information on there. So yeah, the first thing I want to do is acknowledge that it is a challenging time, and for that reason, for pregnant women, it's a challenging time for everyone. But for pregnant women, it can be very challenging, especially if you don't have those privileges that I spoke of those opportunities or resources that I mentioned. I think, and I've felt this way from the very beginning with this whole COVID thing. That so much is talked about in terms of hand washing and distancing and wearing a mask. And I am definitely for those things. And my stance is kind of, I don't know if you would call it middle of the road with the topic of COVID, where I think on one end, we need to respect the life of the vulnerable. I definitely see it as it's a pandemic and it's a problem, and it's full of uncertainties. But on the other end, the paranoia and being freaked out and stressed out and at each other's throats about it, is another extreme that I'm just not about, and I don't want to be about, and I don't think is helpful. And I think, but I understand why it's happening. So I think there's so much talk about the numbers important, wearing a mask important, distancing important, washing your hands important, but man, like, we don't talk about our mental health. Kanye is the reason why people are talking about mental health right now, which, I mean, maybe in that way he's being helpful for sure. But that's why people are talking about mental health. I mean, mental health should be on the forefront of all of this. The economy, obviously, so many people losing their jobs, so many people having to close their businesses, people who are dealing with domestic violence, stay home, but you got to stay home with someone who's beating you, or stay home, quédate en casa. And well, I'm sorry, like, I don't have the option to work from home. I don't even have a computer, is the situation for many people. And so we're all in different places, especially too in this country. We're told quédate en casa, stay home. But I work with people who don't have access to clean water, and they have to go out to make a living. So I mean, there's just so many things going on, and I think that we've been so rough on each other. I understand. This topic. I can really see it from so many angles, and I feel like I have more patience and compassion for those different angles. And I think as a pregnant person, pregnant woman, we really need to work that much harder to protect our peace, because I'm not gonna be the one that's having her baby at home in a pool, which I think is a beautiful thing, and I think I would have done that 10 years back, maybe 5 years back. But I definitely am, to the best that I can, going the natural route. No promises, but to the best that I can. And so with everything that I've been reading and studying, and that I knew from the past, and what I think now and how I feel, our bodies as women, they know what to do, and we have to trust them, and we have to, the goal is to get to a place where we can just allow our bodies to flow, so that we're not resisting, and it can hopefully help make this labor and bringing my daughter into the world that much better. There's so much data out there of how cesarean births are a business, and also inducing women is a way can be a convenience. And I'm not. It can be, because also you can get to a place where you are having complications, so your baby's no longer growing, you don't have much amniotic fluid anymore, and you need to take certain steps to, and that may be inducing, and I get that. But what I'm saying is that for me, what I want to do is just let my daughter come when it's her time to come, let my body flow, because that's what it was made to do. And with that, and looking at this, idea of parto humanizado, which is, a humanized type of birth experience versus the opposite, which can happen. And I know by me walking into a hospital, I'm already getting in a situation where it's a little less humanized versus maybe having it at home. I'm trying to create a mental, environmental space here from the beginning of my birth through the very last moment is my goal. I'm not going to be in control 100% of what happens, but that is my prayer, that is my hope, and that is my goal. And in trying to create this like mental space of trusting my body, of having peace, of also enjoying the process of being pregnant, which can most definitely be very and is uncomfortable, especially at this point. I'm about to be 39 weeks here soon. So within that process, here comes COVID. So it makes it that much harder for different reasons. Women right now who are pregnant are dealing with, for those of you that don't know, before you go and give birth, you have to bring your test that says you're negative. If you're allowed to bring your own test, and within specified days that they give you, each hospital, each place, and I'm talking about both countries, has different policies. And it's, from what I'm reading, from what I'm hearing, no one really has it very clear what that policy is, because they didn't have to implement it before. This is a new thing. And so some people think that, if it's within 3 days of giving birth, you can bring your own test. How do you know when you're going to give birth if you don't have that programmed? If you're not planning for a cesarean, unless it has to happen, how do you know? I'm going to give birth on Saturday, so I'm going to go get my COVID test now. And also, they can, I think most hospitals are doing them and can do them there at the hospital the day you give birth. But that's a stressful thing, because you can be asymptomatic, you go to give birth, and your test comes up positive. And then that brings on so many other things that get in the way of the process of having a humanized birth at a hospital. How do you let your body flow? How do you relax and meditate when you're just got news that you were COVID positive? Just in thinking about that, my heart really breaks for many, many women who have had babies during this time. Who are pregnant, who I know are working with a lot of anxiety. Just think about that. That's crazy. And here's the other thing. If your partner, who also has to have a test, whoever that is, if they allow your partner to go in and have the baby and be there with you, which, at some point, some hospitals were not allowing, and I'm assuming that there are still some that are not allowing, depending on how the numbers are or what have you. You're giving birth on your own. For people that have doulas or midwives that they wanted to bring into the hospital with them, that's not an option. Or maybe they're only given one person they can bring. So who do you bring? Your husband or the midwife or the doula or what? And then you may not have an option, because if you want to bring your husband, It's only one person allowed, or your partner, whoever, and they test positive for COVID, you're on your own. If now you test positive for COVID on the day of the birth, then there is risk that they're not going to let you be with your baby, that they take the baby away from you. You know, part of having this humanized birth is that when a child is born, they immediately put them on your chest and they give you time to bond, and as you want to breastfeed, to latch on. And these are important things for the baby's development, for your bonding. It's that they call it the golden hour, you know, where you can, within that golden hour, also there's a very big possibility that you can start breastfeeding. If you're COVID positive, there are going to be hospitals, depending on their policy, that no, that's not going to happen, and they separate you from the baby. I know someone, a friend, showed up to the hospital asymptomatic. They did the test, positive. She had to have the baby on her own. Everybody dressed in hazmat like gear. Her with a mask. Didn't get to breastfeed or have those moments with her baby until she's like, I'm out of here. Like, get me out of here. A few days later, you know, I just read just 2 days ago in a group that I'm in, another woman hadn't seen her baby in 2 weeks. She got pregnant and her twins, did not see her twins for 2 weeks because she went in but she went to give labor and she was positive. Now, I know some people are saying, well, you have to do everything you have to do for the baby. I mean, that's dangerous. She's positive. Well, there are many misconceptions out there. The data shows that if you do get COVID, that doesn't mean you're going to pass it on to your baby. It's actually unlikely that you would pass it in utero, 1. 2, once you have the baby, the very best thing is to breastfeed that baby if you can, because your milk provides the best antibodies. And you should do that with precautions per experts, which is the mask wearing and wiping down after each time you feed your child. And so there, it again, it just breaks my heart to think that moms are being separated from their newborns. And so I've had to think about all of this as a pregnant woman, and how I'm going to navigate that, how I've been navigating that. I'm thinking, a lot of, from the beginning of this whole COVID thing, okay, my mental health, maintaining my peace, protecting my peace, while at the same time taking care of myself, staying informed. How the heck do I stay informed when every single day it's breaking news, and this study says this and that study says that, and you start looking at these articles, and they're rumors. A lot of them are rumors. They are an opinion of one doctor, one person, or they're not studies over time. They're headlines. They're just clickbait. And I think because there's so much happening, it's overwhelming. And I think we're hardwired to see the next insult, the next study, the next meme. And we just click into it and share and read. And now it's part of our anger and frustration and confusion and our paranoia, and then tomorrow the next one will come out and it's something else. And I've been really careful to not allow myself to just be swayed back and forth, in this storm of craziness that's going on. I don't, news sources that I used to trust back in the day, I don't even look at them anymore. It's all become so bad. And so as pregnant women, it's like we have to put that much more effort, because everything that we consume, from what we eat, and I'm not at all like on this crazy strict. I'm not eating any bad stuff during my period diet thing. I mean, during my pregnancy diet um, phase or what have you. But I do stop and think, okay, this is what I'm consuming here is going to my baby. So no, I'm not going to have wine and whiskey. And I am going to take some steps away as someone passes by me and they're smoking. You know, these are things that you think about as we think of what we consume as pregnant women and what we consume, what we listen to, the conversations that we're having, what we're reading, everything. Like, we're protective, and we should be that much more protective of, you know, what can be passed down to our child at this time. And, you know, I've been really careful, really careful with this stuff. And I think right now is a time to, again, it's going back to acknowledging that this could be really difficult for someone who's pregnant, and maybe sharing some of the things that I've done, I hope is helpful. This whole thing about being very careful about what you read, looking at studies that are over time, not just now, these quick clickbait links, being very careful with that. Even people who are not pregnant, sharing that kind of stuff is not helpful. I don't think it's helpful to you and your mental health. You know, the breastfeeding, that you have a right to be with that child, to be with your child, that you should not be separated from your child. That before, as a pregnant woman, when you please ask about the hospital's policy, ask them to share it with you, if they can send it to you, if where is it written, where is it online. Talk to your doctor. I ask my doctor a million questions, and I ask him the same ones sometimes over and over again, and I don't feel bad, and you shouldn't feel bad about being annoying. This is your time to advocate for yourself, and ask the hospital, okay, can I bring in my own tests? How many days out can I bring it? Like, I mean, I don't know when I'm gonna have my baby, but can I do this roughly 2 weeks from my due date, or what? Okay, no or yes. Okay, well, what kind of test do you guys give? Is this a rapid test? Is this the PRC, which is more accurate? If it comes up positive, can I have another one? What happens if I come up positive? Are you going to allow me to breastfeed my child? Where is that written? You know, those are all the questions. Will my child still be able to be in the room with me? Those are all questions that we need to be asking unapologetically. And I think that, you know, with our providers, whoever they are, like letting them know that we're serious about this. Like, this is, like I said, this is a time for self-advocacy, and I am so sorry if you're not used to being in that position. And I do recommend that you get a team of people around you that can support you and that can help you and that can inform you. You know, I have, you know, a doula and someone who had been a midwife for some time, and people that I reach out to, that I run things by, and it helps me a lot. And I'm also just reading a lot, spent a lot of time reading about questions I should be asking, listening to podcasts about humanized births. And all of those things have, I think, helped equip me. And I'm having many conversations with my husband as well, so that him and I are on the same page. Because when I get there, when I get to the hospital to have the baby, I'm not going to be all there. And he needs to be very clear. We need to be very clear as to where we stand as a couple. And so I think, you know, all of those things have been helpful to me. And I hope in sharing that it's also helpful to you. And I hope for those of you that are not pregnant, men, friends, just friends out there, or what have you, like, try to have this in mind if you have pregnant friends. Like, check on them and see how they're doing and ask them if they need support. And don't just do it once. Like, I have people who randomly check on me and they send me stuff, and I mean, you guys have no idea like how much I appreciate that and how much it's helped me throughout. And I'm at the final stretch, but I can't give up now. I have to I have to maintain my peace, protect my peace, be my best advocate till the very last minute. And it is, again, I acknowledge, and I acknowledge this not just for me, I acknowledge this for all pregnant women out there. It's challenging. And I am saying that from a place of privilege. So imagine your friend whose husband lost his job. Imagine your friend who doesn't have insurance. Imagine your friend who lost her job, who got her pay cut, or doesn't, or they're on one income and I don't even have kids. This is my first kid. Imagine your friend who has 2, 3, 4, 5 kids at home. Think about that friend. If you know that they're pregnant, send them love. Send them some money. Send them some food. Send them whatever you can to let them know you support them. Do some research for them. Share it with them. Yeah, I just wanted to send some love to my pregnant people out there and to people associated to pregnant people. And I hope that this video can just ease the burden on someone. Thank you.